With a new wave of players out in the world, you wouldn't want to get banned from Turf War, would you? Well, have no fear, because today, I'm here to tell you about others' wrongdoings so you don't fall down the same path. I got you. Here's a bunch of ways to get banned from Turf War, so you don't do them yourself. Some Inklings are strong, maybe even a little too strong. If you're able to lift a Dynamo, I think that you could use that Dynamo to break open this glass panel and just steal the artwork out of here. Why would you even think of doing that? Anyway, didn't end well for them. Tired of not being able to reach opponents who were a little too high up, one junior player had the bold idea to just, chuck their entire Splattershot Junior at the guy up there. I mean, it worked. They got down because they got clocked upside the head with a Splattershot Junior. Someone thought it'd be a quirky, fun, silly idea to put a large amount of duct tape across the entrance to Splatsville's lobby. Needless to say, people weren't very happy about that when they walked up to the door while not looking on their phone and then kind of just slapped into a wall. Not great. See that bottle over there? That reminds me of the other day when someone tried to bring in a bunch of bottles of colorful soda into a turf war battle. They spilled all of them all over the ground right at the end of the match, just to see if anybody would notice. And of course they did. And the match ended up having to be canceled because it made so much of a mess of the actual colors. What was the idea besides wasting everybody's time? I couldn't tell you. Do you see how here at Lamura Hub, there are points where the platforms go past some pretty tight spots? Well, somebody with the Nautilus thought it'd be kind of funny if they took the plate off the front of their Splatling and attached it right to this bolt right here. So when it hits this spot, the platform just can't go up any further. Notice how most of the platforms here at Lemuria start moving and stop moving around the same time. If you mess with one of these, as they soon found out, you mess with all of them. An Octoling got caught sneaking into Sheldon Shop, hoping that they could take a bucket and screw another bucket to the bottom of it to make a bi-slosher? Buddy, first of all, the tri-slosher is right there. And second of all, we have a bi-slosher. It's the Dread Ringer. Out of spite, they still found their way to getting a second slosher and brought it to the doors of the Turf War lobby. They did not make it inside with that. Are you kidding me? Of course not. When you think about it, an E-liter is a pretty sharp weapon, right? Those metal ridges can't be easy on things like balloons. Yeah. You know what is going to happen, right? You know what they're going to do? They walked into the enemy base at the start of a match, went up to the nearest bumper, just gave it a little pop. Now all they had to do was wait for their next victim to get 'em got. Recently, some players took note of how not really deep the water actually is in Mahi Mahi Resort. Makes sense. You don't want to work the machines at Mahi Mahi Resort too hard all day. But one E-liter player had an alternative idea. They took their E-liter, stuck it into a spot where you're not supposed to be able to go, and then put a beacon on top of it over the water? I mean, they were found out instantaneously because obviously they were running around the match after that, without an E-liter in their hands. I don't know what the next idea was. Beautiful dichotomy of posts over here, by the way. We've got this guy who says, "It's my birthday!" This person they just drew a cat and they're new to the game, welcome, and then... So let's say a movie comes out and you don't really like it. What do? Do you leave a bad review, tell your friends not to watch it, or do you take the longest range weapon that you have and try to destroy any kind of media you see of it? Because if that's your answer, that's exactly what this person tried to do. Obviously, they couldn't reach. You're kind of in the middle of the battlefield here, buddy. I mean, listen, I really think you should go back to the review option. I think it's a better idea. No, seriously, I think you'd have to defy gravity to get over to that poster. Tired of losing a match, a Splatoon player tried to sneak up on an enemy and swipe their entire ink tank wide open. The thing is, the Splatoon really isn't built to do that, so it kind of just bounced off. made the enemy player go flying, and then got the original guy who did the swipe in a lot of trouble. Try again next time, buddy. Oh, what's that? That wasn't even the end of the Mahi Mahi story? I forgot the other part? Okay, fine. So the week after that, you know what they did? For some reason, the guards let them back in with a jet squelcher again. And this time, they just waited for the water level to come down, used their jet squelcher again to prop themselves up, and then just went straight into the enemy base mid-match without even going around. Come on, there's a walkway right here. Why would you even do that? Why would you want to get banned for a month? Because that's what happened. They got banned for a month. Whee! Isn't it fun when you start the match and you go flying through those boxes? Well, there are even more boxes in other parts of the map. Someone decided instead of, hitting the boxes and making them disappear like most players do, that they were gonna hold on to a couple of the boxes until someone showed up, pick them up, and just chuck them at their opponents. Well, that led to a concussion. Recently, somebody with a bow walked into a turf war match hoping nobody would notice them. They weren't here to play a game. They were here to attach a suction cup to their bow and try to snipe and steal luggage while nobody was looking. See? Look how close that truck got. That's almost in shooting distance. Regardless, they got found out in about 30 seconds, so, good try. A group of cephalopods snuck into Mako Mart in the middle of the night, looking to record a new episode of their show, Will It Cook? The premise, simple. Throw something in an Exploser and see if it cooks, or if, the Exploser just blows up. Don't know how they got their hands on so many Explosers for this. Surprisingly, nothing actually went boom that night. But you know what there is in a supermarket? Security cameras. The worst part, because they committed a crime, they couldn't even upload the episode. So sad. Sometimes, due to the hustle and bustle of the average turf war match, a little bit of ink can make its way into that big old tub up there of all that ramen. However, purposely trying to get extra ink in there to mess with the formula is highly looked down upon. Yeah, you better stop firing that crab right now. Do you want to be next? Do you want to be the next guy to get banned from all of this? I guess you do. Look at that happy family down there. They don't even know what happened to their dinner. But you know what will get you banned for even longer? Popping that crab tank or using your special right into somebody's plates? Why? Living in a place like Flounder Heights, it can be pretty difficult to get some shut-eye. As if the explosion sounds from a Clash Blaster weren't enough, one player decided, hey, what if I did a little something extra? Why would you want to fire Zuka shots directly at somebody's window? What if they just had a long day at work? Oh, what? You don't care? Alright. I know, that rock climbing over there does look pretty fun. But no, you cannot imitate it by trying to jump off that little part of Scorch Gorge that lets you almost reach that fishbone statue. You know, the one, like kinda close to spawn. Do not jump up there. Do not hang from it. Do not fire your weapon while hanging from it. Thank you. Seriously, it happens like once a month. This wall over here is torturous for Blaster and Charger players alike. So one player had a bit of an idea. Play Turf War only on Umami Ruins rotations. And every time they played, throw an angle shooter at one of those supports. Just one. See what would happen. If they did it maybe for a couple of months, if anything would change. And honestly, yes, the guards did take note of this. But they really didn't care too much until one day one of those cables did start to fray. Needless to say, that was their last Umami Ruins game ever. Normally, it's fine to want to do meme teams, aka playing with other people and using the same weapon. But when it's not okay is when people are trying to do shortcuts. A group of bucket players tried stacking their buckets against the wall in Manta Maria. That way, they could just speed run their way up top to bully players. You know, instead of having to take the long way and go across the grates like everybody else. No, they wanted to stack. Did the staff really think this little tiny lip was gonna be enough to stop a jumping inkling? Speaking of jumping inkling, someone was banned recently because all they wanted to do in a turf war match was hop out a corner, but not to scare anybody. Specifically because they had that super long inkling hairstyle. And when they jumped, those tentacles might accidentally trip someone. They wanted to see how many hops it would take to trip at least 5 people. Unsurprisingly, instead of tripping 5 people, they tripped 1 person, got reported, and they were gone. Sometimes accidents do happen, even in the world of cephalopods. One day, someone dropped their Squiffer mid-match and grabbed the closest thing they could and pulled it into battle. It was a jellyfish. It was not their Squiffer. At least it's better than that time one of those jellyfish over there got mistaken for one of those beach balls. One time, a nighttime turf war party got a bit out of hand when everybody started to throw their Inkstorms overboard, trying to increase the wave height and turn Manta Maria into a big rockin' boat party. Although there were 20 people there, those Inkstorms did nothing to actually change the waves at all. Maybe they should have tried this on one of those little boats out there, you know? Not the big one, but that's all the curse stories I have for you. If you were an Inkling or an Octoling with a little bit too much free time, what would you do? Asking for a friend, there are definitely not extra cameras that are going to be installed in places depending on what you say. So don't worry about that. If you had fun, be sure to like and subscribe. I've done more videos like this in the past, and I'll probably do a couple more in the future. Bye-bye!